So good afternoon. I'm Bob Thronsky with Vigilent. Welcome. We're honored to be a TiE 50 finalist, so I'd like to tell you our story. So we're a company that uses machine learning and analytics to optimize the thermal environment in data centers. And there's a lot of advantages to this in terms of reliability and capacity. But the thing that most people think of is the energy savings. So far, the technology has been able to save 100 billion kilowatt hours so far for our customers, which at about 10 cents a kilowatt hour is about $100 million so far. So to frame out the problem a little more is obviously data centers are the sort of epicenter of the information economy, and they're growing like crazy. The amount of data we have is doubling every couple of years. And data centers use more than 2% of the energy in the United States. In some markets, it's even more. In Singapore, it's 12% of the energy in Singapore is used by data centers. So it's a huge part of the energy that's used. And about half of that's used to power IT equipment. The other half in data centers is used to really cool down the room, all the heat that's generated by the IT equipment. And it's that 40% is where Vigilent focuses our efforts in optimizing that cooling investment. So it's a very difficult problem to solve, actually. You wouldn't think it'd be that difficult, but it is. And the way these things are typically designed in a data center is people design the amount of cooling in, all these air conditioners, for the hottest day of the year at the peak load. So it's like, let's see if this works. Nope, but it's up there at the very top. And and most people leave it there. I mean, there are sometimes some simple controls or people do things manually, but the cooling doesn't vary that much, while the IT load may be varying down here. So what you end up with the blue is just a huge amount of wasted energy. You also end up with a bunch of wasted capacity. You've spent too much money on air conditioners. So what Vigilent does is we use our technology to match the cooling to the IT load at every spot in the room dynamically in real time. So you save a huge amount of energy. You have extra cooling capacity that you can use elsewhere. Your cooling equipment's not used as much, so it lasts longer. There's a lot of benefits. So to show you why we use machine learning to do this, just to give you a little example. So this is a sort of mid-sized data center. You see there's a bunch of air conditioners here, and these are where the IT equipment is. And these are the sensors where temperature is important. And if you look at that particular air conditioner, how many points of influence does that have in the room? Just one air conditioner. So that one air conditioner will influence the temperature at all of these sensor points throughout the room. So that's pretty complicated. Now, can you imagine if you looked at this for every single one of these air conditioners and measured the influence across the entire room? It becomes a very complicated math problem to try to optimize, and that's what our software does. So the way we use this is we'll put out sensors if people don't already have temperature sensors, where the IT equipment is. We'll also put out wireless equipment to measure the efficiency of the cooling units. And then what we'll do is the machine learning will start to actually adjust the cooling units and measure the thermal influence across the room. And it'll do this for each air conditioner. And so you see it sort of stacks up these influence maps, these influence models, and develops an overall predictive understanding of cooling in the room. So it will figure out that if it has these certain units on or these certain fan settings, that all the temperatures will be met using the minimum energy. And it develops a predictive model of that. It then goes and starts control. It takes about a day to do that, and then it starts to go into control mode and turns units off, fans down, up, and it meets those temperatures. And if there's anything a little off, it will continue to learn because this is a closed loop system. So it has sensors out there. And not only minute to minute, but day to day, week to week, year to year. As the room changes, more IT equipment goes in, things move around in the room, new air conditioners are brought in. The system will automatically notice there's been a change, relearn and re-optimize. So it's doing that all the time without any human intervention. The other thing, other than just dynamically controlling cooling, the system also has insights that can help people manage data centers. So here's a simple example. So here's a data center. As you can see, most of it's like green and blue, so everything's fine. But people sometimes turn off air conditioners, and they can run into major problems because they don't know exactly what's going to happen. So here in the middle, the Vigilent system, the analytics has determined exactly what the thermal impact of turning off that air conditioner for maintenance is. Now, when they did turn off the air conditioner, this is what actually happened. And what you can see is the predictive capability of the system closely aligns with what's actually going to happen. So before they turn that off for maintenance, they need to add spot coolers or some other type of mitigating step to avoid that from happening. So this allows people to better manage the environment. So we have pretty good global momentum. We have over 500 data centers we're in, across 5 continents. There's a lot of data that's processed, 1.5 million square meters of space. I already mentioned the billion kilowatt hours, but even the main thing for us, other than just running the business, is we think we're a clean tech success story. So we've saved so far 700,000 metric tons in terms of reduced CO2. So we're trying to do our part to fight climate change. And these are some of the customers we work with. And the customers, of course, what they think is they pay the bill. So this is a Chief Sustainability Officer of Verizon, and they selected us as their Sustainability Vendor of the Year. And you can see we're saving them, significant electricity and carbon reduction in their facilities. Thank you.